So you're thinking about moving to Bend, Oregon, and winter recreation is a passion of yours? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be covering in today's video. Today we're going to be hopping onto the computer and doing a full-fledged map tour of the entire resort that is Mt Bachelor and the ski area that surrounds it. So if this video sounds like it's for you, then stick around because we're going to be getting after that tour right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Bend, Oregon, then subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell below so you can be the first to know about the current market in Bend, Oregon. My name's Ryan and I've lived in Bend for over 30 years. My partner Zach and I, we get calls and texts every day from people just like you looking for help on making their move to Bend, Oregon. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or even set up a Zoom meeting. We'd be happy to help you make that smooth move to Bend, Oregon, or anywhere nearby. So we're here at the mountain, just a beautiful day. And so the snowpack is starting to accumulate. You can see here, and the snow machines are even on right now making snow too. The target opening date for Mt Bachelor every year is around Thanksgiving time. And so we're gonna hit that mark here in about a week or so. As you can see, the snow is starting to build up. The buzz is in the air. There's people out here today. They're hiking up the mountain. They're doing some sledding and they're doing some cross-country skiing and even some downhill for people that want to hike up really high. But Mt Bachelor is actually the 6th largest ski resort in North America, and it's just 20 minutes away from Bend. There's over 4,000 skiable acres, over 3,000 vertical feet, 12 different lifts, 8 of which are express quads, and that gives us over 100 runs to access the mountain at for all ability levels. And so right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop in front of the computer. We're gonna show you a tour of the entire mountain from Google Earth because there's a lot of interesting vantage points to show you. So let's just get on with that tour right now. We'll see you on the computer. Okay, welcome back to the computer here. I'm in my home office now. I can show you guys a little bit about Mt Bachelor from the computer, Google Earth, and Google Maps because they have so much information and such great vantage points to share with us. So I just wanted to actually make sure you guys were aware of this in case you ever want to do this yourself. There's so much information just on Google, but it's my pleasure to actually go out and try and give you my spin on things and give you my perspective on what I think about this area just based off me living here for so long. So let's just do a little screen share right here and we can just kind of get started. So we always start out our screen share with Deschutes County, right? Because that's our primary focus here on this channel. And Deschutes County, again, if this is your first time to the channel, you're checking out a video here, we're right smack dab in the middle of the state of Oregon. If you're learning about Bend, Redmond, Sun River, Sisters, even Prineville or Madras, that's the Tri-County area here. But Deschutes County, 200,000 people, and we have Mt Bachelor inside the southwest part of the county up in the Cascade Mountains. And so we'll start with Bend here. And we will just do a little tour. This is going to be Century Drive. All roads to Mt Bachelor go through Bend, typically sometimes Sun River as well. But generally speaking, most people that go to Mt Bachelor have to drive through Bend first. And so Mt Bachelor is going to be right up here by the Dutchman Flat Sno-Park. It's about 20 miles away, about a 20 to 25 minute drive, depends on the day, the traffic, the weather, etc. If it's early in the morning on like a really great powdery day or a really great sunshine day, there's gonna be a lot of traffic. It's a single lane road for the most part, but it does turn into a dual lane road, say just after Sun River's cutoff, which is right here. This will take you down to Sun River. But right up here, it kind of turns into a dual lane road just for the last couple of miles to try and mitigate traffic a little bit, smooth things out as people pick which lodge they want to go to. There's 2 lodges. There's the Sunrise Lodge, and then there is the West Village Lodge. And there's also a 3rd lodge. It's more of a smaller lodge. It's kind of like the Skyliner. It's for like the skier, like the ski racers. That's the Blue Lodge, and that's going to be in between the Sunrise Lodge right here and the West Village area over here. And so we've got the Skyliner Express lift right here. There's another lodge right here. You can see the entrance to that parking lot right here, much smaller, kind of a local secret. But Sunrise Lodge here, that's the 2nd biggest one, and the primary area is over here, the West Village Lodge. So that gives you some perspective of what it looks like to drive up to the mountain. And then you have here, Google Maps, we've got the entire scape of Mt Bachelor. It's pretty cool. Gives you an understanding of some of the lifts. You know, most of the mountain itself is going to be facing to the east. So the sun kind of comes up in the morning, of course, from the east side, and then it treks to the south
throughout the course of the day. And so you can get like cloud coverage or shadow coverage, like no direct sunlight on like this entire north side of the mountain for basically the entire day. So the sun treks this way, right, over the course of the day, south, and then sets in the west. And so you're going to have basically shadowy lifts or shadowy runs for the majority of the day after a certain time, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock throughout the day. So that can be good. That can be bad. I mean, it can be pretty icy if it's like there's no new snow or anything like that. So it just kind of depends. But this will be the satellite view of what we're looking at here. And we'll jump into Google Earth here in a second. But you can see that is the literal bird's eye view. And so we've got Vista Butte Sno-Park, we've got the Kapka Butte Sno-Park, we've got Swampy Lake Sno-Park, Winoga's more popular, Meisner, Virginia Meisner, that's a very popular area. We've got the Dutchman Flat Sno-Park as well. And so all roads, like I said, the primary road, Seventh Mountain Resort, I mean, this is going to take you up the mountains, right? And so we're at 3,600 feet down in Bend. This will take us up to about 52 to 5,300 feet at the base, maybe a little higher. And then Mount Bachelor, of course, their peak is at just over 9,000 feet. And so we're looking at a little over 3,000 vertical feet in vertical terrain for those that love to ski and have at least lifts or runs that last a couple of minutes. I mean, sometimes they last 10 minutes. It just depends on what your level of skiing is and what your goals are, but it's certainly not a small mountain where you get off of a lift and all of a sudden, 45 seconds later, you're back at the bottom and you have to wait in line and kind of go through that whole process of getting to the top of the mountain again. So now let's head over to Google Earth. And this is one of my favorite things to do. I just love what Google Earth has to offer. There's so many cool things here. And so we will take a look at what Bachelor's all about from a 3D standpoint here. So if we just kind of pan around and just get ourselves in a position to show you what this mountain looks like looking to the west. Right? So this is Bachelor here. Right here is going to be Tumalo Peak. A lot of people love to hike that. They'll ski it. I mean, this is that big white cap that is right in front of Bachelor that you can see from Bend. And so this is what it looks like right here. Again, this is Century Drive as it comes up. It turns into that 2-lane road right about here. And then we can zip by the mountain. And if we zoom in a little bit, we're going to be able to see what it looks like. And so right here, the first stop, this is going to be the Sunrise area, the Sunrise Lodge area, smaller parking area. It's the first stop. A lot of people come here. It's actually a really great training area for brand new skiers. In fact, they have a little ski area with a carousel, 2 different lifts, little tubes that you can just kind of stand on. There's a little conveyor belt goes to the top. That's free for you. So you can just show up and just use that. Learn how to get on and off the mountain. Take your kids with you. They can get acclimated to the mountain without you having to pay like $100 for a kid's lift ticket or $160 for you for a day pass just when you're learning or teaching your kids how to ski. So that's kind of a cool feature there. Or anybody, it doesn't have to be a kid. It can be anybody learning how to ski. Balancing on skis takes a little bit of practice as well as a snowboard. And so that's a really cool feature. What Bachelor wants to do is get you hooked on skiing so eventually they can turn you into a customer for life. That's the goal, right? So they offer free services in the early going to help people fall in love with the sport, and can't blame them for that. It's just really smart strategy. And so we spent a couple years with our kids kind of teaching them the ins and outs, and then we'd get them into ski school and stuff like that. And Bachelor does have some cool programs for brand new skiers too. The Ride for 5 program. They've got a couple other featured programs that kind of get people into it as beginners, so then they can become more advanced and then kind of take the reins on their own. This is the very south part of the mountain here, and this is like the little the lift where it starts. I don't even think the Google Earth has a view of this lift here. This is called Cloud Chaser. This is a new lift that went in a couple of years ago, and it was designed to like be more of a traffic mitigating lift on this mountain because like it's just become so popular and so many people come up to this mountain. And so the majority of the skiers are over on this side. As you can see here, Century Drive will kind of funnel over to the West Village area. And this is the primary hub of the mountain. So what we have here is a east facing mountain, northeast, all the way to directly east to southeast. And that's where the majority of the people that ski are going to be skiing. That's where all the lifts are. There is access to the opposite side of the mountain. If you take the summit lift on a clear day, and advanced skiers are allowed to go into like the open country backcountry skiing, if you will, and they can ski around the backside of the mountain until they catch like a catch line, right? And so there is catch lines here. These are like cat tracks here, and so you can ski down here. This is all open backcountry here. They don't groom anything. It's just designed for more advanced skiers. We have a lot of those here, and so you wind up catching the boundary line here, and it will take you, a cat track will take you back to, like, say, Northwest Express or Cloud Chaser if you're going the opposite direction. So yeah, that's basically what that looks like. But if we're going to be facing from the east, looking at the mountain again, we can see here the primary hub is going to be where all of this copy is, right? Mt Bachelor, West Village area, multiple buildings down here. This is where the majority of the people will come to start their day. Where we did this introduction is from the Pine Marten Express lift. That's right here. This is kind of the hub of the entire mountain. Like, this is the first lift that you will likely hop on if you're coming for the first time, or just your first lift of the day, right? Because you could take the red chair. The red chair is a famous chair. It's one of the original chairs, but it's not necessarily always open. It will take you up almost to the top of where Pine Marten lets you go. But Pine Marten is the primary lift on the mountain. If that thing is disabled, then it's going to be really, really hard to have a smooth day on the mountain if people are running the mountain from a worker employee standpoint. And frankly, maybe you couldn't even really have the mountain open. You could have like the other side of the mountain where sunrise is and summit is, but again, it's going to be difficult. Summit's only open a handful of days a year because the weather up at the very top, up above the tree line, is so suspect. It's so windy, it can be challenging. And so it's a kind of a special occasion when the summit chair is open. But if we are to continue the tour from this area here, again, we have our lodge here. There's actually a mid-mountain lodge too, which is pretty cool. And so even in the summertime, you can take this lift up and you can do bike park. There's the disc golf courses up here, just a downhill bike terrain park. That's pretty cool. But this building here will be open for dinner. And so you'll have sunset dinners that are just absolutely stunning. The views are spectacular in the summertime. And so people will take advantage of that. You can ride the lift up. It's a great date idea with your significant other, or just take the kids up and enjoy the view that is Mt Bachelor at 73, maybe 7,400 feet here at mid-mountain. And then there's another 1,500 feet or so that takes you up to the top, just over 9,000 feet. And so if we were to pan out here, we'll zoom out and take a look here. This is the cinder cone here, kind of a famous little cinder cone. A lot of diehard skiers will hike that on a regular basis before the mountain really opens up with enough snow. If we are to zoom out a little bit, we get to see some of the surrounding area. This is pretty cool. Google Earth is amazing. And so we're going to scroll over here and look to the north. Okay, Century Drive coming up here. Rainbow Chair is right next to Cloud Chaser, as well as the sunrise area. This is right where the mountain becomes accessible. We're looking to the north here. We've got Broken Top, we've got the South Sister, we've got Middle, North Sisters, we've got Mount Washington, Jefferson, that goes up north, and even further up we have Mount Hood, and we might be able to even see, what else can we see here? This is crazy. Pretty cool. Vancouver, that's going to be right by Portland. So we're looking at like 150 miles away here, just from this vantage point alone. This mountain up here has got to be like Mount Adams in Washington. Maybe it's Mount Rainier even, or Mount St. Helens, but pretty cool. Just a really cool area here. We scroll this way to the east. We're going to see Bend. We're going to see Prineville. We're going to see Redmond, all the towns that we focus on as we serve our clients. And so you can see just how close it all is. Deschutes River Woods is a neighborhood. Alfalfa is a neighborhood. Tumalo's a great neighborhood. Eagle Crest is a resort near Redmond. Terrebonne, that's where Smith Rock is. We've done a couple videos featuring Smith Rock now. And so this just gives you a full kind of perspective. And we've talked about this in other videos too. It's like on to the west of Bend is going to be the mountains, right? And so this is like basically a baseline of about 5,500 to 6,000 square feet, where cloud coverage from the valley and the Oregon coast over here will stop right here at the mountains. And so this is what really separates the two landscapes of Oregon, right? To the west is going to be the valley. It's a lot cloudier, a lot rainier, and it's just a different type of culture and climate over there. And it kind of gives Oregon its stigma of being like a cloud-covered, rainy state all the time, because the majority of people who live in the state live over on this side of the mountains, whereas we're over here on the east side and it's more of a desert climate. And so we get 300 days of sunshine. It's pretty cool. So we thank the mountain range here for keeping the sunshine in our area as opposed to the other side of the mountains. So anyway, back to this tour here. Tunnel Mountain's a great day hike. You can just see great vantage points from up here. In fact, why don't we just try it real quick? Yeah, let's just pick somebody. Somebody contributed to Google Earth here, and we're going to go take advantage of their picture. Let's see what we get. Pretty cool. There's Bachelor. Looks like a summer, maybe a spring day. There's some snow. There's still snow up in the mountains here, and so you can always tell kind of from pictures like what time of year it is based off of what the peaks look like, right? And so clearly this seems like a spring day because this is some old snow. It's starting to melt off, probably May or June, something like that. But yeah, you're going to see snow. It starts to melt off. There's patches and there's bare spots that start to showcase themselves when the sun burns it off. But that's pretty cool. So let's see what else we can take a look at here as we continue this tour. All right, so Bachelor, let's take a look at some of the runs here. So Bachelor, back to Bachelor. Okay, the primary area for skiing is going to be from Pine Marten, and that will give you basically access to the entire mountain. So if we are to look at some of these here, we got the Pine Marten lift here, goes all the way up there to mid-mountain, and this gives you access to either go right or left. You can go this way. You're going to head to the north. It's going to give you a much more steeper terrain here on this side of the mountain, the northwest side of the mountain, right? And so what we have here is the Outback Chair as well as the Northwest Express. Okay, that's what these guys are here. So this was Outback Express, has got some absolutely fantastic terrain as well as the Northwest Territories. The longest lift on the mountain. This is Northwest Express. It opened back in 1996. And so this was something that was requested by locals for a long time because Mt Bachelor was a great mountain, but it didn't necessarily have all the challenging terrain that a lot of the locals that have kind of conquered the mountain previously had wanted. And so what they did was they added this. They left a lot of the trees in here. You can see here, there's only a couple carved out runs, and they're very steep. And so a lot of the fallen trees remain too, just to kind of make things difficult. So this side of the mountain needs a lot of snow for it to really open up. And you can see some of these cat tracks here. This is going to be like the catch line, and these are the get backs for people that go to the very top of the mountain. They ski the backside in the backcountry. And so Bachelor is a fairly challenging mountain. I mean, there's a lot of good skiers and snowboarders in this area. So some of them will tell you that they've conquered it and they'll only go up on like true, like epically awesome powder days. And we get a few of those a year. Like people will just play hooky from work because they see the forecast and they realize just how dry the snow is. It's just one of those epic days where you have to take advantage of it. But if we go back over here, Red Chair, okay, that's a popular, very famous lift, but it's only operational on a fairly part-time basis. Pine Marten every day. Skyliner Express is actually kind of right through the center of the mountain. That thing was actually down last year, and it's going to be down. I think it's operational now, but they're going to turn it into a six-chair lift. The first of its kind at the mountain here starting next year in 2024 season. So that should help mitigate traffic. That'll be interesting to see how that kind of takes over and helps alleviate a lot of the lines that can add up, and they can get backed up, especially during the holiday season, the 2-week stretch of Christmas break, as well as the spring break season, because there are just so many out-of-towners, tourists that come here to take advantage of the opportunity to ski at an awesome mountain like this. And so you got Skyliner Express comes up. This is the summit crossover. This is how you get from one side of the mountain to the other. It's such a big mountain that there's like basically crossovers that will take you to and fro. Let's go to this side of the mountain compared to that side of the mountain and check it out. And there's kind of like two cultures. Feels like two different personalities. One side of the mountain, I've always been kind of a West Village area, Pine Marten, Outback, Northwest. That's kind of my area that I like to really frequent. Less traffic over there, a little bit more steep, a little more challenging. And then you have the southeast side where sunrise is and Marshmallow Run here. That says it all, right? But this is kind of the primary area where like newer skiers will learn to kind of cut their teeth and learn how to ski. A little bit flatter, not as steep. And so in Cloud Chaser, further to the south is going to be no exception. It's still pretty flat terrain. So great place to learn how to ski. But that's what I love about Bachelor. There's just so many different flavors of Mt Bachelor you can take advantage of when you come here and enjoy the amenities. There's something for everybody. The lodges are fun. It's really cool to like drop the kids off at ski school and you can go do some runs, and then you can come back and you see a lot of your friends in the lodges, and you can have a drink and stuff like that. But again, just if we were looking at, say, the vantage points of what is offered here. Bachelor's pretty cool. So it's like, we just look at a couple of the runs here and just kind of get a feel for it. This is the summit crossover we're going to take a look at here. And so again, this is just like, this is kind of a utility run, right? You're just trying to get over here to this side of the mountain. That's the top of Sunrise. This is the bottom of Summit. So the summit run or summit lift actually starts at mid-mountain, right? So on a very clear day, it'll be open and you can zip up there above the trees. Here's Tumalo, Bend is beyond it. So you have like this, yeah, it's just like a cat track, but it just helps you get from one area to the next. So let's try and look at another lift or a run or two and see what's available for our vantage point here to give us a perspective. Pan out here. Now we're looking from the southeast. And so if we were to kind of zoom in and look at, say, something at the top. Let's go look at the top of the mountain. Let's see what, hopefully a crystal clear day here. Oh, this is going to be like pinnacles here, looking into the bowl. So this is really steep area here. This is going to be something that, you know, a lot of guys will hike up after they get off the summit lift and they are going to come in. This is definitely some expert terrain here. Look how much higher we are looking at Tumalo Peak compared to where we just were at the summit crossover. So this is like a 45-degree like incline here. You're just going straight down into the bowl here. You got some guys that are kind of down there. You can see the West Village parking lot way down there. I mean, we're at 9,000 feet here. So that gives you some understanding of where we're at. Broken Top, we got South Sister, pretty clear day. And so clouds are up in the sky, obviously in the heart of the winter because of just the look of the mountains and the amount of terrain, the ski, or the amount of snow that is in the mountains. And so if we were to, we're just kind of panning around here at the very top. And this is, you know, Bachelor's actually fun year round too. It doesn't have to be just for skiing. There is, I mean, it's great hiking. It's a great day hike. You can do it in like just maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. You park at like Sunrise or, you know, West Village or something. You can park or climb to the very top of the mountain and just get some incredible views. In the summertime, there's the disc golf course that I was talking about. There's also a awesome bike terrain park where you can just kind of throw your bike onto Pine Marten. It will take you up to mid-mountain. You just ride down the trails and you can do laps on that too. So the mountain itself is basically open year round for recreational use. It's pretty unique in that regard. If we were to kind of take a look at like the Mt Bachelor website here, you've got, you know, all kinds of things that you can check out here. But what they're talking about here is, you know, the bike park here, you got that, you have summer activities. It's not just for skiing alone, right? And they've got the restaurant open at mid-mountain. You can take the lift up during twilight when it's 75 or 80 degrees outside and you can enjoy the views. So there's all kinds of stuff to really, really enjoy. This website's actually kind of cool. This will tell us when the peak snow season is too. So February is actually the #1 month for snow. Data for February, the best month for Mt Bachelor snow is going to be in February. And that's, you know, the locals love that because they get their mountain back after the winter break. They kind of have to give it up to a lot of the tourists from Thanksgiving all the way through the new year because there's just so much tourist activity here and there's a lot of people that want to come and take advantage of the opportunity to visit Bend and enjoy Mt Bachelor. But you got February, you have March, you have January. Those are some of the best snow months of the year, obviously the winter time, right? But, you know, April even is the fourth best snow month of the year. And that's ahead of December. And so those are the primary ski months, but we'll have this mountain open from like late November all the way until May, sometimes even June. And so there's even been moments where Mt Bachelor has been open in July, the 4th of July weekend, where like there's just, you know, so much accumulated snow over the course of the season that people can, you know, they'll open it up for a couple days during the 4th of July weekend. You know, it usually stays open until about 1 o'clock because by then, like, it gets so warm that the snow is soft, it starts to really melt off. But what a cool thing to offer, right? You know, it's 4th of July and you can potentially come up here and go skiing and then go check out fireworks later that day. So Mt Bachelor, again, 6th largest ski resort in North America. I mean, that's a huge deal, right? I mean, on this entire continent. And we're used to hearing Colorado and Montana and maybe some of Sierra Nevada's like big resorts down in Lake Tahoe gets a lot of the notoriety, but Mt Bachelor is competitive with all of them with what they have to offer. And as Bend continues to grow, I mean, the infrastructure is going to be put in place to continue to support the demand for what Mt Bachelor has to offer. So if you love to ski and this is something that is important for you when it comes to where you choose to live, Mt Bachelor is a resort just 20 miles away. It's often, you know, I think it's a little bit closer than a lot of like, say, resorts in Colorado with people living in Denver Denver, or maybe people in California that have to go up to Lake Tahoe on the weekend. So again, we're 20 miles away. Very unique and very, it's just a cool place, I guess, right? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope there was some value taken from it. And if you guys want to get a hold of us, it starts with you. You have to reach out to us. Our contact information is in the comment section below this video here. You can call us, you can shoot us a text, you can email us, you can even set up a Zoom meeting. But we want to help you figure out where the best spot to live in Central Oregon is for you. So if it has to do with the mountain, 20 minutes away is in Bend. You can be 30 or 40 minutes away if you're on the east side of Bend or in Redmond. But the point is like, even if you lived out in Brasada Ranch, which could be an hour drive for you, I mean, it's still relatively easy to get to. It just takes a little bit more time. But again, that's our job. We just want to help you find the best fit for you. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you got some value. Please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps keep us motivated and encourages us to continue making more content. If you have any suggestions for content in the future, just drop a comment in the comment section below. We will look forward to responding to you. But again, thank you for watching. Hope you guys got value and have a great day. We will see you on the next video.